Your hip flexors can become tight in as little as 20 minutes of sitting. Yet, it's not the act of sitting itself that shortens your muscles. Instead, it's the neurological feedback, a process called reciprocal inhibition. When your hip flexors activate, your glute muscles are inhibited. This inhibition becomes habitual, limiting mobility. Many believe stretching can simply lengthen muscles instantly, but muscles adapt over weeks, not minutes. Stretching only signals the nervous system to temporarily allow a greater range. The actual muscle tendon units require mechanical stress, such as resistance training, to remodel their structure long-term. Your hip joints have an intricate capsule with synovial fluid that lubricates them. Contrary to popular belief, it's not lack of movement but the pressure from inactivity that impacts fluid distribution. Synovial fluid acts like oil in an engine. Without movement, it doesn't circulate to coat the joint surfaces adequately. This results in a sensation of stiffness. While you might feel the urge to stretch, joint health hinges on dynamic movement. The mobility comes from fluid dynamics, not the muscle length. Dynamic exercises, like leg swings, stimulate the synovial membrane, enhancing lubrication. Fascia, the connective tissue enveloping your muscles, plays a pivotal role in perceived tightness. Unlike muscle fibers that can contract, fascia changes its consistency based on hydration and movement patterns. A common belief is that fascia can be permanently elongated through stretching. In reality, fascia remodels its collagen fiber alignment over weeks of mechanical loading. Foam rolling, for instance, temporarily alters fascial viscosity, enhancing movement but not in the way stretching muscles do. Regular movement ensures fascia remains pliable, preventing the sensation of tightness. Your muscles contain spindles, sensory organs that detect stretch length and speed. When activated suddenly, they trigger a contraction reflex, a protective mechanism against overstretching. This is why ballistic stretches often feel counterproductive. The common misconception is that these stretches lengthen muscles. The truth lies in the neurological protection mechanism. Slow, sustained stretches reduce spindle activity, allowing a temporary increase in length. However, for structural changes, eccentric strength training is needed. It induces muscle spindle adaptation by increasing tolerance to stretch over time. The iliopsoas muscle, a primary hip flexor, attaches at the lumbar spine and femur. Misunderstood as merely a hip flexor, it stabilizes your spine during movement. Many believe tight hip flexors cause lower back pain, but it's the imbalanced tension between the iliopsoas and stabilizing muscles that matters. When your core is weak, the iliopsoas compensates, increasing lumbar lordosis. This imbalance creates perceived tightness. Strengthening the antagonistic muscles, such as the abdominals and glutes, balances the tension and reduces the compensatory demands on the iliopsoas. Neuromuscular signaling involves the release of acetylcholine at the neuromuscular junction, initiating muscle contraction. When you sit for prolonged periods, acetylcholine receptors downregulate, decreasing sensitivity. This leads to reduced neural drive in hip extensors, contributing to perceived tightness in hip flexors. Contrary to common belief, this tightness isn't just a muscle issue but a neural adaptation. Activation exercises, such as glute bridges, can enhance neuromuscular efficiency by increasing receptor density. This restores balance in muscle activation patterns, addressing the root cause of tightness. Hormonal cascades like the release of cortisol influence muscle tone and tightness. Chronic stress elevates cortisol, promoting a catabolic state where muscle proteins are broken down. This can lead to muscle stiffness, including in the hips. Cortisol also affects collagen synthesis in connective tissues, reducing elasticity. Deep breathing exercises can modulate the autonomic nervous system, decreasing cortisol levels. A 2018 study in psychoneuroendocrinology showed that participants practicing diaphragmatic breathing had reduced cortisol levels, which in turn positively influenced muscle tone. This physiological mechanism underscores the interconnectedness of stress and muscle tightness. Connective tissue adaptation involves fibroblasts, cells responsible for producing collagen. With mechanical loading, fibroblasts align new collagen fibers along lines of tension, increasing tensile strength. For the hips, ballistic stretching may not be effective since fibroblasts require sustained tension to remodel tissue. Eccentric loading, such as in reverse lunges, provides the necessary stimulus for fibroblast activity. Over time, this leads to structural adaptations in the fascia, reducing tightness. The process of collagen realignment can take weeks to months, highlighting the need for consistent mechanical stress to achieve permanent changes in tissue architecture. Motor unit recruitment is the process of engaging more muscle fibers for a task. Inactive lifestyles lead to inefficient recruitment patterns, especially in the hip extensors. A 2020 study in the Journal of Applied Physiology found that sedentary individuals had a 30% lower motor unit recruitment compared to active individuals. This inefficiency causes hip flexors to compensate, creating an illusion of tightness. Strength training with compound movements, like squats, enhances motor unit recruitment by engaging multiple muscle groups. Over time, this improves neuromuscular coordination, alleviating compensatory patterns in the hips. Mitochondrial biogenesis, the process of forming new mitochondria, is crucial for muscle endurance. Hip muscles with high mitochondrial density can sustain contractions longer without fatigue, reducing the perception of tightness. Aerobic exercises, such as cycling, stimulate mitochondrial growth through the activation of the AMPK pathway. A 2019 study in Cell Metabolism demonstrated that consistent aerobic training increased mitochondrial density by 40% over 6 weeks. This adaptation enhances cellular energy production, supporting prolonged muscle activity and reducing stiffness. Mitochondrial efficiency directly impacts how your hips tolerate prolonged exertion. Overstretching can paradoxically increase muscle tightness. In extreme cases, excessive static stretching triggers the Golgi tendon organs, which act as protective sensors in your tendons. When overstretched, these organs signal for muscle contraction to prevent damage. This reflex tightens muscles further, rather than relaxing them. A balanced approach, incorporating both dynamic stretches and strength training, is more effective in promoting flexibility. Dynamic stretches maintain neural coordination, while strength training ensures muscle fibers and connective tissues adapt properly. This dual approach mitigates the protective reflex responses induced by overstretching. Inactivity leads to a decrease in muscle mass and strength, a condition known as sarcopenia. This is not just a concern for aging populations. Prolonged inactivity, such as sitting for hours daily, accelerates this process. Sarcopenia reduces the functional capacity of muscles, making them feel tight as they struggle to perform basic tasks. A 2017 study in the Journal of Physiology revealed that just 2 weeks of reduced physical activity led to a 4% decrease in muscle mass. Regular engagement in weight-bearing activities counteracts these effects, maintaining both muscle mass and elasticity. Chronic training without adequate recovery can lead to connective tissue overuse injuries. Tendons and ligaments, unlike muscles, receive less blood supply, slowing their recovery. Microtrauma accumulates if rest is insufficient, causing stiffness and pain. Rest days allow fibroblasts to repair damaged collagen fibers, essential for maintaining healthy connective tissues. A 2016 study in Sports Medicine highlighted that a minimum of 48 hours is needed for tendon recovery post-intensive exercise. Balancing training and recovery periods is crucial for preventing chronic stiffness and preserving hip joint function. The fitness industry often emphasizes flexibility over joint stability. However, excessive flexibility without strength can destabilize joints, leading to compensatory tightness in surrounding muscles. This tightness serves as a protective mechanism to prevent excessive joint movement. Strengthening stabilizing muscles, like those in the core and hips, enhances joint integrity. A well-documented study from 2021 in Journal of Strength and Conditioning Research found that participants who focused on stability exercises had a 30% reduction in perceived muscle tightness. Stability training ensures that flexibility gains do not compromise joint health. Surprisingly, hydration influences muscle elasticity and tightness. Muscles are approximately 75% water, and dehydration reduces their ability to contract and relax efficiently. Reduced hydration thickens synovial fluid, increasing joint friction and perceived stiffness. A study from the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2018 showed a 2% dehydration level decreased muscle performance by 10%. Ensuring adequate hydration optimizes synovial fluid viscosity and muscle contraction, reducing tightness. This highlights how even seemingly minor lifestyle factors can have significant biomechanical impacts on your hips.